Challenges, will I be able to have that support and find those services that I need if I'm out there alone?
Midland Victim Coalition encourages victims of domestic violence to never hesitate to reach out, and that help is only just a phone call away. And Breast Cancer Awareness Month continues, and Permian Basin Gifts of Hope is preparing for their 5th annual Pink the Park event. So come down to Centennial Park, Midland, wear your pink, and celebrate hope, strength, and survivorship. Pink the Park kicks off at 10 a.m. and will end at 1 p.m. Well, week 7 of Game Time is here, and Ethan, I know you've been keeping score. So what's the buzz in the Permian Basin for football tonight?
Well, we've got district action between a lot of great teams happening on, including some games that happened yesterday. So make sure to tune into West Texas Game Time for week 7.
High school football, there's no place like West Texas and no coverage like this. Welcome to Game Time West Texas. From Midland and Odessa to Abilene and San Angelo and everything in between. If it happens on the field, you'll see it here. It's Game Time West Texas, sponsored by Midland College.
I pull up in all white, looking right. 100 bands, this is leaving me tonight. Pressed in the fame and the lights. See the flash and they shooting on sight. Pull up in all white, looking right. 100 bands, this is leaving me tonight. 100 bands, this is leaving me tonight. 100 bands, this is leaving me tonight. Stack it up. Stack it up. Walking in, wear a name that you can't spell. I'm the man, I got bands if you can't tell. Drop a G on a bottle, rap paying well. Popping open champagne, live fairy tale. Ballin' every day, what you gotta say? I don't even gotta look when I fade away. Let's set it on fire. Let's set it on fire.
Game Time West Texas, sponsored by Midland College.
The bye week allows a lot of teams to regroup, prepare for district play, and get back players that were injured during non-district action. But the first game out of the bye week is a test to see if the rest made the team better or did the break kill their rhythm. Let's see which teams took advantage of that bye, starting with our game of the week. Corey McIntyre is at Ratliff Stadium for another edition of what I'm calling the Ratliff Ruckus between Permian and Odessa High. But Corey, what was that environment like under the Friday night lights?
Well, the environment was absolutely electric. The game we've all been waiting for all year. The Rumble at Ratliff kicked off tonight. And man, if you weren't here, you missed out. And let me show you why. The moment we've all been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen, the crosstown showdown between the Permian Panthers and the Odessa High Broncos. A game so huge, even State Representative Brooks Landgraf couldn't miss this action. Now, let's get right to it. All week, we've been raving about Permian's passing game, and here's why. Jacob Garcia with a huge sideline completion to Aaron Navarrete. Now, this will set up the Panthers in the red zone, and Gavin Black does the rest. He finds a gaping hole and walks it in for 6. On the next drive, the Broncos come out swinging. They hand it up the gut to Jimmy Avila, and look at him go. He gets into Mojo territory, and the Bronco faithful is absolutely loving it. Now, the Broncos will work their way to the goal line, but the Panthers come up with a pivotal stop for the turnover on downs. Start of the second quarter, and the Panthers stay in the air. This time is Garcia finding Black in the flat for a first down. Now Mojo was scratch and claw their way to the 2-yard line, and Black looks like he is stopped, but he just hops his way into the end zone instead. Permian leads 14-0. And the Broncos need to answer quickly, and that's exactly what they do on this next drive. Philip Carrasco finds Andrew Rodriguez on the screen, and he will weave his way into the end zone. Look at the wheels on this kid. Broncos wake up and make this a one-possession game with a score of 14-7. But this play right here stuns everyone. Garcia with 2 fake handoffs, heaves one down the field and finds Caden Hernandez for the touchdown. Mojo clicking on all cylinders tonight, and we're heading to halftime up 28-7. Now this game isn't quite over yet, but Permian has the convincing 49-7 lead with 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Now after this game, I'm going to talk to the winning side. So if you want to see that full interview, just head over to newswest9.com and click the Game Time tab. Now what a night it was for Odessa, and reporting in the heart of Odessa, or in other words, Ratliff Stadium, I'm Corey McIntyre. Ethan?
Thank you, Corey. Permian about to be 5-1 on the season with a 5-game winning streak. Those Panthers are looking tough. But Midland High entered its bye week on a sour note. But the Bulldogs can start district play on the right foot, hosting Friendship. Midland High still in search of its first home win of the season. Friendship threatening early, but Cole Turner pushes the Tigers back for a loss. So what does the Bulldogs dial up on third down? Well, Thad Fortune says, how about swarming the backfield? Felix Ceballos wraps up the quarterback for the sack. Friendship looking at 4th and 18, and the guts to go for it pay off. Quade Ferris heaves it to Texas Tech commit Chase Campbell, who toes tapped the back of the end zone. 24-yard score puts the Tigers on top. Friendship had a chance to double its lead, but Carson Ham says, give me that, flying high for the first of 2 interceptions on the night. Midland defense sparking the offense early in the second quarter. Tristan Love keeps it and dives across the goal line to tie the game, but Friendship is leading 42-31 late. Wall looks to keep its undefeated season going, taking on Merkel. Badgers make an early statement. First play of the game, Mason Perito jumps in front for the INT. Merkel takes over. Badgers playing aggressive off the turnover. Easton Malone heaves it downfield, but Bryson McFarden with the great coverage keeps Merkel out of the end zone, and Landon York responds like the senior quarterback he is, hitting Reed Robertson in open space, making not 1 but 2 defenders miss. Here comes the afterburners, 78 yards to the house for Wall on top. Merkel's turn to respond. Malone finds Perito, but Yeager Thompson stops him right there in his tracks, immediately taking him down, bringing the boom in the secondary, and Wall soars from there. York rolls out to a wide open Dylan Sellers as the Hawks dominate 63-13. Coming up, we've got our big 3 games from Midland, San Angelo, and Abilene, but here are some scores from your local teams. Welcome back. Midland Christian had a lot of highs during its non-district action, but the Mustangs need to bounce back after a tough road loss at Friendship heading into the bye. Stephen Pepper is out at Gordon Audrey Stadium field as the Mustangs open up district play against Southwest Christian. Stephen?
Southwest Christian versus Midland Christian. It's certainly been a lopsided affair in recent years in favor of Midland, but this time around in undefeated, Southwest has a little weapon up their sleeve named Trey Mosley, a running back who I think not many people in the state are running better than right now. So let's take a look at those first half highlights.
After a two-game road stint, Midland Christian is back at Gordon Autry Field to kick off district play against the 5-0 Southwest Christian Eagles. So here we go. Mustangs set up nicely after a big punt return, and they give it to
Ethan Purcell here at San Angelo Stadium, where 6A district play has opened to a packed house to watch the San Angelo Central Bobcats take on the Midland Legacy Rebels. Let's check out some highlights.
We begin with the Bobcats with the ball. QB Micah Smith looking desperate for a pass, but ultimately scrambling out of bounds. Next, he'd try a handoff to sophomore Xavion Johnson, who'd be swamped by a group of Rebels.
Well, I guess, well, your final in Midland Christian, 56-14. Reporting live in Midland, I'm Stephen Pepper for West Texas Game Time.
And it is Friday, which means it is time for some football. And Friday Night Lights right here at Shotwell Stadium in Abilene. Tonight's matchup will be the Cooper Lubbock Pirates versus Abilene's Cooper Cougars. Minimal action in the first quarter, but Lubbock Cooper gets on the board first with the field goal to make it 3-0. But then the Cougars take over. Peyton Ewing powers in from 12 yards out, 7-3 Cooper Cougars. A Pirate fumble gives Abilene Cooper the ball back, and they capitalize. Zaylon Johnson hauls it in for a 15-yard touchdown pass to make it 14-3. On the very next kickoff, the Cougars recover a loose ball, and it's Ewing again, this time sprinting 30 yards to the house, 21-3 Cougars. Still in the second, quarterback number 3, Jaden Carrillo, keeps it himself for a 9-yard touchdown run, and it's now 28-3. Then Carrillo connects with Zaylon Johnson again, this time for 25 yards, 35-3 Cooper. The Pirates manage to find the end zone just before the half. Number 2, Shemaine Johnson punches it in for 15 yards, but Abilene Cooper leads big at the break, 35-10.
Ethan Purcell here at San Angelo Stadium, where 6A district play has opened to a packed house to watch the San Angelo Central Bobcats take on the Midland Legacy Rebels. Let's check out some highlights.
We begin with the Bobcats with the ball. QB Micah Smith looking desperate for a pass, but ultimately scrambling out of bounds. Next, he'd try a handoff to sophomore Xavion Johnson, who'd be swamped by a group of Rebels. Third time's the charm, they say, and Smith would run a 30-yard keeper all the way into the end zone for a Bobcat score. The Rebels would then take over, quarterback J.P. Reyes lobbing a fast pass to senior Mackenzie Rogers, who dodges not just one Bobcat defender, but 2 with an in-air somersault down at the 30-yard line. And that feat would pay off, Reyes throwing a bomb for a Rebel touchdown, tying the score with the Bobcats.
At San Angelo Stadium, Ethan Purcell, West Texas Game Time.
All right, thank you, Ethan. After the break, we've got more district openers from Class 2, but first, here's more scores from the area. Christian. Quick score update from those games. Midland Christian defeats Southwest Christian 56-14. You had Abilene Cooper defeating Lubbock Cooper 66-16, and Midland Legacy is still leading San Angelo Central 51-42. But Ira Ann came up short of a district title in 2024, but after a 4-1 start, the Braves can start to make its case for their first district title since 2016, when they finished as state runners-up. Braves hoping to make it 3 straight wins over the Eagles. Ira Ann taking command early. Opening drive, Daniel Reyes says talk to the hand before spinning into the end zone. Braves jump in front. Later down in the red zone, Prather Schneeman bobbles the snap, but in the chaos finds an opening to easily get in for 6, and Ira Ann is rolling. Stetson Scalzo goes untouched to make it 20-zip Braves in the second quarter. But the Eagles are soaring back. Kane Brock punches it in, 21 unanswered, has El Dorado take the lead for the first time, and the Eagles would cruise, storming back in this one, 45-42 for the Stunner. Forsan eyes a homecoming dub with a Sonora in the role of spoiler, and the Broncos are no joke early. Bo Blackbird with the hit of the year, helmet clean off for the monster sack. Later in the drive, tip drill comes in handy. Angel Diaz comes up with the pick. This Sonora defense was dominant all night as they return it to the midfield, and this was not close to being done for the defense. John Ray Azevedo jumps the route and has the second interception of the first half. Buffaloes were able to hold off the Broncos for a little while. Oscar Hogan pushes Sonora away from the goal line, but the Broncos scored and cruised from there. Aaron Segura with a laser to Wyatt Killo. 14-yard strike makes it a 20-point advantage as Sonora rolls 42-8. We've got our top plays from Week 7, but let's get a quick recap of tonight's action. Well, week 7 was definitely action-packed from top to bottom, but only 3 plays can be considered our West Texas Game Time top plays. So let's take a peek on the monitor and begin with play number 1. Well, it looks like Midland High's Carson Ham comes up with that pick. He has been a top player, 7 interceptions so far this season for Midland High, as that is play number 1. We go to play number 2. And it's from Thursday. Compass's Ryan Ferris goes all the way. House call kickoff return to open the game against Alpine, as Compass is thriving early on in their district action. And let's go to play number 3. Cohoma's Austin Molina. We like special teams touchdown. How about a second one? 83-yard punt return for the TD, as Austin Molina takes that all the way for Coahoma, as that it wraps up our top 3 plays. And the decision for which of these top plays is our play of the week is in your hands. Go to the Game Time tab on our website at newswest9.com to cast your vote as we announce the winner on Thursday. We've had a lot of great athletes compete this week, but if you think there is one that has especially made an impact, let us know, as Corey McIntyre will reveal our player of the week. And now we're getting just started with district play. With each week, the stakes get higher and higher as we get closer to the postseason. We may be 7 weeks into the 2025 season, but thank you for joining us right here for West Texas Game Time.